Hello everyone, this is Funmi, lead consultant, Maxim-Concepts consulting practice. And what are we into? We're into advisory and training as it relates to law, as it relates to accounting and auditing, as it relates to risk management, and as it relates to governance. Yes, governance. And so I continue my short talk on governance across board. Governance issue across board. And today we'll be looking at succession planning and evaluation process. Succession planning and evaluation process. A succession planning is a plan that is being put in place for smooth leadership transition, mostly for board members and senior management in the organization. And it is vital because most times the leadership structure had to be protected, had to be upheld, and the company's long-term goal, value had to be planned, had to be also considered. And so what are the effective things to do as far as succession planning is concerned? Because in the long run, what are we considering? What are we driving at? We are driving at ensuring that there is sound governance across board in the organization. So what are those things? The effective succession plan. What are those things that will be considered? One of the first things that will be considered is identifying internal and or external talents. That is, if for one reason or the other, as far as a succession plan in an organization is concerned, if for one reason or the other they notice that they don't have the talent in the organization, then it has to be sourced for us outside. But normally someone should have been at that point whereby the company should have been at the point whereby they are actually grooming some people who will occupy the position of the board, who will also occupy the position of the CEO in the organization. The plan ought to be in place. Yes, because we are talking about sound corporate governance in an organization. And so another thing is identifying the CEO's success profile. So this will be made known that it's part of what we put in place as far as succession plan is concerned. What are the things that for anyone that will be moved to that place, because the CEO can decide to leave at any time. So what are the things that is expected that for someone to be a CEO in this organization? These are the rundown of things that is expected: business acumen, result oriented, transformation driven, and all the likes. And so they will consider this alongside with the succession plan that is in place in the organization. Also, they will also build contingent plan. Contingent plan is that if for one reason or the other, like I said earlier on, the CEO decide that I am not interested in, I have gotten another place, so I'm moving on and I want to leave. It's not at that point they will begin to beg or anything. There should have been a plan, succession plan in place to just plug and play. So they say another person will just fit in to that position. And that is if there is effective succession plan in place, which ought to be in place as far as sound governance in an organization is concerned. It ought to be in place. It will just be plug and play. You just put, once the current CEO steps down, then another person in the organization will obviously step up and continue from where he stopped. And like I said earlier on, if for one reason or the other they've not groomed anyone to the point that there's a belief the person can take up, someone internally can take up the position, then these are to be sourced for outside. Another one is that the plan will be review. It will from time to time review, and it will be updated from time to time, because there is a need to always do this. Plans are not static. Succession plan, things will change, some other things will come up in the industry, which will lead to adjusting, tweaking whatever we call a succession plan this year will obviously will have changed by next year, because some things will have come up in the industry. The industry is evolving, things are changing, the way business are being done, the way market is changing, and so many things are happening. So it's something that the plan should be flexible, things that you can change, you can tweak from time to time to accommodate changes in the environment, changes in the society, changes in the sector where the company operates. And we're also looking at the evaluation